Welcome to the show, Robin D. You are one of the world's most sought-after vocal coaches, having trained Grammy Award winners, rock stars, to opera singers. You've also worked with sportsmen and board members of huge companies as well. You're a sought-after keynote speaker, lecturer for universities, Congress, other companies. You've held workshops and do hold workshops, masterclasses, in vocal production, among other things. You've trained and supported artists across the world in shows such as Eurovision, Pop Idol, and The Voice, just to name a few. There's loads to talk with you about. It's so fantastic to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do tell us more.
I'm so honored to be with you, to get the opportunity to talk to you. And when you tell all those things about me, it feels kind of weird that it's me, that this should be me. Sometimes when people count all the stuff I did in my life, and it feels like this could be another person.
Right.
Yes, it's really, really cool to be here on the show. I'm so honored that you invited me, Skyler, and I'm happy to talk to you, Tom. And the idea of music for global change is just, it means so much to me, because sometimes as a musician and as a producer, vocal coach, and consultant, you feel kind of lonely if you have this idea in your mind, if you have the idea of doing good things and have the intention of giving to people. And because the music industry has changed in the last years, because first we had the change from radio to video. Yeah. And now we have the change from video to online, and the more it is online, the less quality matters.
Right.
Because it matters how big you are on the internet, how big your reach is, and the idea of the whole thing that you invented here is just, in my opinion, something really, really great.
Thank you, my brother. You know what I mean? I want an open market for everyone, right? So I want everybody to meet each other and be able to collaborate with each other, and we use cooperation, to make that happen. But when you get to write with different people on the other side of the earth, just like we're doing right now, in this medium right now, I've written over 30 songs just like this, right? You couldn't do that before, Yeah. And it's so wonderful because I'm introducing people from all over the world to each other and asking them to collaborate on some positive music, right? We're tired of bad news. Let's give them some good news.
Yes, let's give them some good news. Yes, what do you think? What do we need to do to have more good things?
Think about the good things, because life isn't all bad, right? I love those stories where somebody just, like an earth angel. So say a car catches on fire and somebody runs over there and grabs that person out of the car and pull them out of the car, and then they walk off. Well, that was an earth angel. You never knew who that person was. I've just wrote a song about that, right? So there's always people doing good things for people, and they never get awarded for that, right? So a lot of people are human beings doing good for each other, but it's not sexy. It's not. See, it's all about the bad news, right? We're going to give bad news some competition.
Yes, you're right. The good news are much more difficult to sell than the bad news.
Yeah, but if you put enough of it out in the open, then people start going, wow, this is another alternative. I can go hear some music that's positive. It's not about somebody personally, These ain't love songs, stuff like that. This is how we can heal each other and educate each other and solve problems with beautiful notes and performance.
Yes. Yeah. What I think is also, if we find the right perspective to look at things, helps a lot to solve the daily struggles that we feel, because the way you look at the things can change everything. Let's just give the example of raining. Many people say, "Oh, it's bad weather. It's raining."
Yeah.
But rain is great if you want something to grow, if you want trees to grow, and the same is with the struggles that artists face out there in the business, because they get used to the mechanism that's on the market, and they learn how to react properly on that. And for me, it's a great pleasure to help young artists doing that, and to help them perceive the whole signals that come from outside in a way that they can handle it the best way.
Yeah, and music does that. I just wrote a tune called Positive Vibes, right? And I flew to Ireland, to Dublin, Ireland, and I put these 12 kids on it with me, singing.
12 kids?
I called the lady, I said, "Give me a studio where I can get 12 kids in there." And she went and got this woman that, with all these kids are actors and stuff like that, so they can sing harmony. You know what I'm saying? So when it was already trained. So when I got them together, man, it was so wonderful, because they're like, "Wow, you sang on the Titanic." They're in Ireland, right? And I'm singing with you. Come on in here. And I got them in there, man. We having some fun, and it just sound beautiful, right? Having these 12 kids on the backgrounds with me, right? And so I'm going to take that around the world and make it like a We Are the World kind of song, but different countries and different kids singing, right, on this tune called Positive Vibe. And we're doing it in an animation. So all the verses are in animation, right? And just the hooks are Positive Vibe. It'll be different country.
That sounds really cool. I think everybody who has the chance to work with you is gifted, because I perceived you as such a humble, such a warm-hearted person, and for me, it's just a great luck that you called me the other day to be on this show, and at the same time I could invite you to our boot camp, which is running right now while we're doing this show here, and it's so amazing. The last years we had really very famous singers from the German, Austrian, and Switzerland music industry. Lots of them have number ones, and all of them are students of mine. So such as Michael Patrick Kelly, Nico Santos, and Jeff Scott Soter from the US, the son of Sting, Joe Sumner. They all have been here as my star guest, and we always combined it. They got some vocal coaching from me, and they gave us half an hour or an hour to talk to our participants and tell them about their experience, and it was always such a precious thing for our singers to learn from this great artist. And this year we decided to have the last vocal boot camp by Robin D, and we decided not to decide to have a star guest. And then it happened that we talked to each other.
Yeah.
And now we have a star guest. And we have the biggest star guest I could have ever imagined. Isn't that great? Isn't life good?
Yeah.
And I just told them, I gave them some hints. I said, it's somebody really pretty huge. And he has worked with two of the most famous singers female singers in the world.
Yeah.
And they were like, who could this be? And I said, so I'll tell you the name. Of course, they wanted to know that. And I said, oh, just to let you know, it's just Celine Dion and Whitney. And they were like, so it seemed like they were not believing, but they will see.
Well, I just want to talk a little bit about the boot camps and the different workshops that you run. Has the way in which you run some of those had to change a little bit since the pandemic? Are you doing anything virtually? Is it all sort of physical? How can you do what you do virtually, or is that something you've been able to achieve?
We did not. We were lucky to have, especially for the boot camps, we always had a slot where all the pandemic situation was a little bit easier, and we were allowed to do that. But at the other side, we created a system where everything can be done online. Okay. So this is also I just talked about that yesterday. I'm kind of really angry about the music industry because they were stupid enough to give the power to Spotify instead of inventing the right things.
Yeah.
And the same happened during the pandemic, in my opinion. They could have worked out a system to send, like we do now, a concert to the living room of the people. Instead of canceling big shows, big tours, losing millions of dollars, they could have just thought a little bit, 5 minutes of brain work, which they were not able, I don't know if not able or just not willing, maybe probably both.
Exactly.
To do. Yeah. And in my opinion, it's a real pity just to think about that, how much artists lost just because of bad decisions in the music industry.
Yeah.
And during the time of pandemic, many consultants, many conservatories, high schools, vocal teachers went broke.
Yeah.
They gave up. They said, I have no chance to do that because they have the wrong mindset. They were thinking, it can only happen, vocal coaching can only happen in person.
Yeah.
And during the time where 90% of our, let's say, competitors, we don't have competitors because that's another story. The business just died, and we tripled our sales.
Yeah. Wow!
So, and this is what we teach young artists, what we teach people to realize what chances are out there and what they can make out of those chances if they have the correct or the right strategies. And that's what we do, what I love to do.
Yeah.
Right. I think what's going to happen with the new generation, though, they look for another way. I do encourage young people to go play in a live situation. That's the only way you might be able to make some money now. It's going to go back to that right now. Where
absolutely,
you know what I mean. But that's great because all the best entertainers ever. It's nothing like being on stage and serving music lovers, right?
I'm totally on your page. I would say the biggest chance, it's not in the music industry, because the big things, to make something big, you need the industry. It's really, really difficult to grow in terms of superstar dimensions.
Yeah.
But to make a living of your music and of your singing, is the best way to do it live. And it always depends on, and probably I have a slightly different thinking than you. I don't believe in the fan base too much. I believe in getting the money from the rich. You know, it's not. It's kind of Robin Hood idea.
Yeah.
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 You take it from the rich, give it to the poor.
Right.
is the big picture behind that? But I think if you have the right target to sell your music, which means if you sell your gigs to people who have money, so
Right.
you can afford to do the other gigs that make no money but give you fun, love, whatever, fans. Yeah.
Right.
And I think this strategy has worked out brilliantly for our participants, for my students, because we have a lot of people who are not known at all. They have approximately, let's say, 1,000 fans. But as you know, the 1,000 fans rule says if you have 1,000 people who are willing to pay you $100 a year, it's in the end $100,000.
That's exactly right.
And this is the idea that we give our students. We show them how to do the right steps, how to do the steps in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm totally with you. Just I think the bigger power to make money and to make a living is to sell the gigs to the people who have money, instead of hoping to get enough fans to make let's say $100,000 a year.
Yeah. That's right. Tom?
Makes sense. Looking at who you've worked with, how did you get involved with such huge areas like Eurovision and Pop Idol? Did they come to you, or is that something you kind of, where did that start for you? These kind of global shows and coming to you.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty easy. I developed a certain technique that helps singer to improve within minutes. So,
Okay.
and as anybody knows, time is money, especially in the music industry. People, especially stars who are already really celebrities and selling millions of copies of their music, they if they are in trouble and they kind of losing their voice during a world tour, that's the biggest problem they could face. And so they as they heard of my work, they realized, oh, this guy could help solving problems on tour. This guy could help or could make it happen that we don't lose millions of dollars during a tour because we have to cancel 3, 4, 5 concerts. And so it was mostly a mouth-to-mouth thing. So
yeah.
I didn't do promotion. I had no fancy website. It was just it started during a TV show for Eurovision, for the qualify of Eurovision, and a singer had to sing this qualify, and the manager called me and said, "Robin, can you please come? The singer isn't able to sing any note at all." So I said, "Okay, have you been to the doctor already with her?" And he said, "Yes, but it didn't help." And I said, "Okay, when does the show start?" And he says, "Yeah, today at 8:15 in the today on TV, live on TV." And I said, "No, it's around 2 in the afternoon." So if you need me, I need to go now. And he said, yes, please do that. And I said, okay, I cannot promise that it will work out. I will do my best, but I don't know if it really works. My work is always kind of trying to go under the skin of a singer. It's like closing my eyes, and while she was talking, I tried to anticipate what happened in her throat. And I realized, okay, I cannot fix that for longer than 5 to 10 minutes. And I said, okay, we're going to do that, but we do it 15 minutes before you go on stage. And the manager was like freaking out. He was, are you crazy? I cannot take this risk. I need a guarantee that this will work. And I said, I cannot give you a guarantee, but it's the only chance it can work.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh, okay. And long story short, I came back. I kind of repositioned her whole instrument, her larynx and some other things. And suddenly, after 2 or 3 minutes, the first tone came. Instead of hello, she was saying hello. And I know this can only last about 5 to 10 minutes. And so I had to have the right timing, which we had. And long story short, she sung it, she went to Eurovision, and everything was fine. And the people all there were all well-known professionals in the music industry, and they started talking about that. There was this guy, and he was solving the problem, and it was amazing, and you won't believe it, and blah blah blah. And this worked out and got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And
wow, the story.
Finally, I had the chance also to work with Paddy Austin, who I met through Skyler. Skyler was the man who connected us, and here again he connected us through a Swiss singer who recommended me.
Yeah, Nubia.
Nubia, yes.
Yeah. Wow, brother. Listen, man, I love you so much, man. Thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah,
but I'm going to get all your info.
Yeah, just wanted to know, how do people see what you're doing? Websites, sort of social media contacts. What kind of links have you got?
You find me on Instagram through Robin D Official, Robin D _official, Robin-D.com. There's going to be a new website and some new stuff. And if you have viewers who run a business or have a bigger company, we have a site. It's called business-rockstars.com. There we help
Okay, fantastic.
Business owners to make more money.
Brilliant.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.